This is an interview with Mrs. Emily Young for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute's Oral History Project. I'm Dr. Horace Huntley. We're at Miles College. Today is September 29, 1995. Thank you, Ms. Young, for taking time out of your schedule today. In fact, you are here from Chicago today, right?
Yeah.
Yes, well, we certainly appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, your own vacation, to come and sit and talk with us. I just want to start by asking you a few general questions about your background. Where were you from originally? Yes, ma'am.
My home?
Yes, ma'am.
Camden, Alabama.
Camden, Alabama.
Wilcox County.
Wilcox County. Were your parents from Wilcox County?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, and how long did you live in Wilcox County?
Until I was about 18, between 17 and 18, I left there.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Birmingham in 1921.
Okay, and you was born what year?
1902.
1902. So that makes you how old? You are 92 years old?
92 years old. Yeah. 93, or soon be 93.
Oh, okay, so you're 93 years young.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. I just need to know the secret of how to get there from where I am, from my little 26 years.
It's a hard secret.
It's a hard secret. Yes. Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I had one sister.
One sister. Uh-huh. And is she still living?
No, she died several years ago.
Uh-huh.
Her name was Lola McGraw.
Uh-huh. And how many children did you have?
Just one. She had one.
Okay. How many did you have?
3.
3 children. Uh-huh. And girls and boys? How many girls?
1 boy and 2 girls.
Uh-huh. And were they born in Wilcox County?
2 of them was.
Uh-huh.
The 2 oldest ones.
Okay, so but the boy and the girl were born in Wilcox.
Dave Young and Eula May was born in Camden. Mamie was born in
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Well, when you moved to Birmingham, what kind of work were you doing? What kind of work did you do?
I wasn't doing anything at the time. My mother was farming, and I was going to school. Okay.
And how much schooling did you have?
I didn't get. I dropped out at the 5th grade.
Fifth grade. Okay.
5th grade.
Now, did you live with your mama and your daddy?
Yeah, I lived with my mother.
Okay.
My daddy was gone.
Okay. And at what age did he leave? What age were you when he left?
I was age 4 when he left.
But then you remained in Camden and you moved to Birmingham actually after you were married then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of work did your husband do?
He's working on the farm.
Your husband was working on the farm in Wilcox. But when he came to Birmingham, what did you do?
He went cement work.
Why did you decide to move from Camden to Birmingham?
Well, my mother got tired of Birmingham, our white people.
Got tired of Camden?
Yeah, got tired of Camden. Well, when the end of the year, they would advantage her for so much at the end of the year, at the end of the farm, they would take out all their pay. They took out too much pay. Mama didn't make but 2 bales of cotton, and they took them 2 bales for their pay. Left her with nothing. She said that was best. She was leaving there then and going someplace she could do better. Not let the folks take all her, white folks take all of her labor. Yeah. What she had labored for all her days. And when the end of the year, they had their own figures, you know, and she couldn't figure, so she had to go by their figures. So she left.
So she was
And
a
so
she was a sharecropper.
Huh?
She was a sharecropper.
Or what
That's
kind?
a sharecropper. Is that what that was called? She worked on shares. She lived on this I assume this white person's place, and then
No. She didn't live on the white folks' place.
Okay.
She lived down there, but she didn't. But she would go with them on their plantation. You know what they farmed and work for them.
Okay.
And they would have a store and advantage her so much for the end of the year. Then she had to pay for it.
Right. Well,
You could go there and trade with her, with them.
I said, did she own her own house?
No,
Okay. She rented.
just rent the house.
Did she rent it from the same people that she worked for?
No.
Okay. So she decided then to leave Camden, Alabama, because she felt she could do better
Yeah.
in Birmingham.
I didn't let the people take all she made all the summer, you know. She had work and maid.
Right.
So she didn't like that. She had put up a lot of fruit and where we had such a good living in the country because we had chickens and hogs and cows and turkeys and everything. So we had just about all we needed. They didn't have to advance her for nothing but flour and sugar and stuff like that. And she thought, well, at the end of the year, they had taken all this, her labor away. She said she had taken it up in food. So she said, I won't stay here and let them take all I would make away any longer. So after that, I had just got married when she left.
Okay, so she left before you left.
She left first, and then me and my husband decided to leave. After he checked up my stepdad to check back with him and let him know that he had a job on the cement plant, and he gonna come up there and get him a job. So he came to get him a job.
Okay, and he worked in the cement plant when he first got here.
Yeah.
Did you live with your mother?
Yeah.
And
At first, but we got a room. Me and my husband got a room by ourselves. Got a house by ourselves. Just a little two-room house, but that was well then at that time.
Right. Well, then how long did he work in the cement plant? I know he went from the cement plant, and then did he go into another occupation?
Well, after he left there, he went so many different places, but at last he ended up at the old mine. He worked there, and that's where he died, in the old mine.
Okay, so he worked for many years then.
Many, he retired in the old mine.
Yeah. What community did you live in when you first got here?
Hillman.
In Hillman.
Hillman.
Okay.
Hillman Station.
Right. And what church were you affiliated with?
Hopewell.
Hopewell Baptist Church?
Hopewell Baptist Church.
And then you moved from Hillman. When he started to work in the mines, did you still stay in Hillman?
No, well, we moved all around. We went down in Cairo, you know where, St. Luke.
Right.
Well, she joined St. Luke then. And after she joined St. Luke, then I joined St. Luke.
And then were you still living in Hillman at that time?
We were at the time.
Yeah.
But after he started working in the old mine, we moved to Wooders, right down there on Wooders old mine.
Okay, so he worked for Woodward.
Wooders old mine.
Right. Okay. And then you lived in Woodward. Was that in like, were you renting then from the company? A house from the company?
Yes.
And how long did you live there? Did you live there and then did you move from there to another place?
Oh, when we leave, well, we moved all around. Well, we went back to Hillman, you know.
Okay.
Then we left Hillman and went to on Grace Hill Heights, where he is now.
Okay. Were you renting on Grace Hill Heights or were you buying your own home?
We were buying on Grace Hill Heights.
So that was sort of a move up then when you moved to that.
We had moved up after that. We moved up a little. So Mama had got on Social Security. You know, they called it what? They didn't call it Social Security then.
Yeah.
They called
Maybe
it
on pension.
PTA or something.
Okay. But she was receiving monies from the government or something.
From the governor. Uh-huh.
Okay. And was she living with you all at that time?
No, she was living in her house. We were living in ours.
Okay. Were they close together in the
Yes.
same community?
That's when we was in Hillman.
I
We
see.
lived close together. But on Grace Hill Heights, where we is now, we live together.
I see. Well, what kind of work did you do now? You had 3 children. We know that when you were in Camden,
Yeah.
you basically just did housework. You were a housewife.
Yeah.
When you got to Birmingham, did you work outside of the home?
Well, yes, I finally started. I had never worked that kind of work before. But I always run my ad, and I would get a job for being just a maid. Or else I would be a cook, something like that,
Right.
for housework. Well, and then I did this.
What was that? Washing, rubbing, the rub board?
Rubber.
Okay, all right.
You remember that, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Well, we did the rubber wash
Okay.
at that time.
And did you take washing into your home, or did you go to their home to?
I'd go to their home and do it. Finally, I started taking it in my home. When I got up high enough to get me a washer and a dryer of my own, then I went to taking in washing and ironing. And I would wash for all the people who were working out somewhere and didn't have to wash when they get home. When they come home, they would be too tired to wash.
Right.
So I'd be and wash the clothes and iron them
Were these
at home.
black folk or white folk that you were washing for?
Well, I work both color, both color, the black and the white.
You also worked as a cook, right?
Yeah, worked at a cook at first, but I went up from there from a laundry, and I worked at what laundry I said it was. Snow White Laundry was one of them,
Okay.
and I can't think of the other one. The first one I ever worked at.
Right.
But then I went up from there to the hotel. That was a laundry. I went up to the hotel. I worked in a Gabriel Hotel in Bessemer.
Okay.
I worked in a hotel in Birmingham.
Yeah, we never could figure out what that hotel was.
I forgot what it was named. now.
But you were evidently pretty good at what you did, because you could always get a job. Is that right?
Yeah, I could always get a job because I could iron shirts so good. I could fix colors like men's lacquer, you know. I could keep that crease from down there, and I could have a shirt so good everybody want me to wash and iron for them, you know. So one lady I worked for, Miss Fallon, one day I quit that because she was trying to make a fool out of me. She said, "Oh my God, this work, she can iron a shirt like nobody been. Oh, I wish you could iron one for me. I'll get one over there for you, and I put 2 or 3 clothes in with my clothes and let her iron them and let you see how she can iron." So he went put them in, and I knew the clothes. And she said, I asked her, why did she have more clothes this year? This time I said, I don't like, oh, you got more clothes than I've been washing. She said, all of them were my clothes. But I found out it was Miss Daniel's clothes, and her name was Miss Flan, and I just walked off and left them there.
So you didn't finish that job?
She had the clothes spread on the ground. When I got there ready, and the fire made up and everything ready, and when she saw me again, I was back at home.
So you decided that you were not going to iron for somebody and not get paid for
I
it.
said, I'm not going to make no fool out of me. I said, I'm not going to wash them other people's clothes. If they want me clothes, let them hire me. Then she went to tell, anyone want to get a job for you? Can't you do another job? I said, oh, yes, because not making much of that. What making was $3 at that one. And so I said, oh, but I could take some and do them with them $3. Because I could take $1 and go put it on a layaway and put the other dollar on another layaway. And when at the end of the month, I'd be to have all my dollars get together and get all that stuff out. So I'd have plenty.
So you were usually pretty well dressed then.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, good.
I did. Like, don't know what I want to get so much stuff done. Where she get so much stuff? I just couldn't tell where I was getting it from because I was working and getting it. Well, it wasn't none of their business. So I said, I work and get what I got.
Right, right.
So I'm entitled to use what I got, and that's what I'm going to do.
So you were working for yourself,
Yeah,
and your children, I assume.
and my 3 children. Yeah, 'cause my husband, he's gone over there to the bootlegger's house.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, did you have a close relationship with him, or what was the kind of relationship that you have?
I
with
didn't
him?
take up with them at all. I just let him be there with bootleggers. I didn't take up with bootleggers. They say,
So he-
come to saying I thought I was better than them. But I didn't take up with, I didn't like that kind of stuff. I wanted to go to church every Sunday and every day. I wanted to go to church. And so I did. I left my husband because he wanted to know why didn't I go with him sometime. I said, why don't you go with me sometime?
So
So
you all were doing different
Yeah.
kinds of things.
He went to the bootleggers and I went to church.
Well, how did that affect your children?
Oh, it affects my children very much because you see we was in and out and in and in and in and out. Living over there this weekend, next day over there, and living with a stepmom over there, and living with me over there, and living with him over there, and living. We did that for a long time, but altogether, we stayed together for 50 years. Also,
You and your husband
with
was
my
together
husband.
50 years.
That same husband I married, we stayed together for 50 years.
And that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Because of course today people stay together 50 minutes.
Like that 2 hours.
At least 2 hours. Yes. Well, I know that you were real active in the movement. I'd like to just ask you a question about the movement. At the time that the movement was going on in 1963, well, even before then, you attended the mass meetings.
Yeah, no. Well, I went to all the mass meetings.
Well, tell me, what was a mass meeting like?
Oh, it was fine.
How would you?
We would sing and pray and take up money for the pay to the Supreme Court. That's who Martin Luther wanted to pay to the Supreme Court.
Pay to the Supreme Court?
So it means that the Supreme Court would give us what we wanted.
Oh, okay. You mean
Because he tell them, I want my freedom and I want it now.
Okay.
He said he couldn't get it now. You had to wait for it. He said, I don't want to wait. I want my freedom now.
So
we helped to get his freedom now.
So that's what the movement was about. Was about freedom.
Yeah, Freedom Riders. He called us Freedom Riders. The name was Freedom Rider. And I was riding everywhere they rode.
Okay.
If they ride over here, I was with them. If they ride over there, we all ride.
So the meetings were at different places. This is what you're referring to. Right?
Yeah, different churches. Sometimes we have so many. We have 2 or 3 churches full. So we'd have the talkie walkers and everything over there, and the loud horns and the talk over there in that church. They could hear. We could hear what they're saying over there.
Well, you knew Fred Shuttlesworth then.
Yeah, Shuttlesworth was the president.
He's the president of the Alabama Christian Movement.
Yeah.
Who were some of the other individuals that you got to meet that were?
Reverend Gardner, after Shuttlesworth put it down, he took it up. And then Appy Nessie and Annie Young and some more, I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
Jane Bevel. And so we We just had a meeting all the time
Right.
until we raised the money to get us up to where we want to get.
The money, now you were raising money to keep the movement going. That's
Keep
what
the
you're
movement going and to get where we were trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to get chance to sit on the buses without being interrupted or having to go to the back. When you get on the bus, just sit down, he said. Martin Luther King had told us that when you get on the bus, have a seat right there. Say, don't pick no seat, don't go back there and back. And they come there and tell you to get up, don't get up. So we didn't. I said, I got a kick out. I said,
You mean you sat on the buses?
I sit right there and they get up there and sit beside me. Some of them put the book down inside, they keep you from sitting there. I take the book and put it on the overside or something.
Oh, you mean some white person would get on the bus and sit down and then put their book in the seat so you could not sit down.
Actually,
But you would move the book?
I moved the book and put it over there, down there, anywhere. And I just sit right where I'm sitting. Martin Luther had to told me what to do. And so I was doing, I said, one lady come along and she said, don't bother that nigger. That's one of them old Martin Luther King niggers.
So
I said, yes, I am.
But you would sit there. Were you ever arrested for sitting on the bus?
No, I wasn't arrested because Martin came and told me, don't say a word. Don't care, but don't you hit them. Just don't hit them. And let them hit you, but don't you hit them. And just sit there and don't say a word and don't move.
Did you ever take
I
part?
sit there and didn't move.
Did you ever take part in any of the demonstrations?
Oh, I went into all demonstrations. Every time we marched up to City Hall, I marched up there. Everywhere they want to march. We marched to Selma, I marched down there.
But tell me what some of the demonstrations were like here in Birmingham. Now you were at 16th Street Baptist Church.
Yeah, 16th Street Baptist Church when
and
they
you-
put all that water on Shuttleworth and rolled them, pushed them, brought them up into the thing.
You were
My
there.
son-
You were there when Shuttlesworth was
Yeah.
hit with the water and
Yeah.
knocked off the steps at 16th Street.
Dave tried to go across there, my son Dave, and pick up Shuttleworth to keep him from killing him. And Bull Connor sitting right over there talking about put that water on the nigger. And he just sipping the water on him. Shuttleworth go farther and farther and farther. And he wetting him up. Wetting up. Dave got so mad he wanted to go on out there, and I pulled him back. I said, don't go out there. That man said for you not to come out there. And Dave said he wanted to just go buck against me and go out there anyway. I said, don't you go out there and let that man kill you, because I couldn't take it. I couldn't stand here and see him shoot you down.
So this is your son now. He was real active in the movement.
Yes.
And was that why you were involved, because he was there?
Yeah, that's why I was there. I got started on account of him. Him was going, and then his wife wanted to go, and then I wanted to go. Main scrap bowl, we could get ready soon enough. When he said, let's go, I'm going to the movement. He said, all right, get ready, Mama, get ready. I'm ready. I said, I'm ready.
Well, did your husband ever attend any of the meetings?
He didn't ever go.
Why didn't he go?
He didn't pay no attention. He thought nothing of it.
What did your son think
Some
about
folks gonna kill y'all out there acting a fool. And that's what he's getting. One of them Uncle, they call him Uncle Tom.
What did your son say about him not participating? His father not participating?
He said all old folks ought to be dead.
Said all old folks ought to be dead.
All old folks ought to be dead.
What did you say to that?
I said, why you think all old folks? I said, your mama and your papa both is old. He said, I can't help it. Because if all them old folks out the way, these young folks will get something done. I said, I tell you what, these old folks will get themselves down there. I'll tell you what I said. I say, in a place of getting anything done, because they could get things done too fast and wanted to do what they wanted to do, and they can't get it done like that. So
you didn't agree with that statement then?
I didn't agree with that statement. I'd love to get out there with them. But when they said, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, I was right there. Don't
What-
let Bull Corner turn us around.
Well, that was a song, right? How did that?
Ain't gonna let Bull Corner turn me round, turn me round, ain't turn me round. Ain't gonna let Bull Corner turn me round. I'm gonna keep on a walking, keep on a talking, walking up the kingdom lane. I'm right there.
Were the children there with you? Did you have were any of your grandchildren there as well?
All my grandchildren were there. Your wife and all the rest of them.
Well, did any of them go to jail?
Yeah, all of them went to jail. They filled up the jail so fast, I had to put them in the schoolhouse yard. So one of my children, called a pie, which she was my little, she went to hollering out and calling back to her mother that she wanted to get her out of that place because they got out there in the rain. And they didn't have nowhere to put them. They put them out there in that schoolhouse yard and fence up high. They couldn't get over the fence, fix the high fence up so they couldn't get over the fence.
That was at Fair Park, right?
Yeah.
And your grandson was also in jail at the same time.
And my grandson was already in jail, done carried him all, done put him in the paddy wagon and gone. Also Martin Luther King.
But your son was also in jail. How long did he stay in?
He stayed in jail about a month, a week or two, something like that.
Didn't he refuse to come out at one point? And he said,
One point, Martin Luther King refused to come out because he was trying to not give him no water, not feed him and all that stuff.
well, there was a situation once where there was some white ministers that were in the meeting.
Yeah, you call
with
them
you.
rabbis.
Okay, would you tell me about that
The
experience?
rabbis come from Baltimore, somewhere they said, up there, up the country, somewhere. This place was just got burned up. What that place was named?
That just
Bombed. You know that the place was just got bombed up.
16th Street?
Huh?
16th Street?
No. Uh-oh.
A church? Not a church.
No, the place, the community, the city got burned up not too long ago.
Oklahoma City.
That's it.
Oklahoma City. So they were from
Well, I
Oklahoma.
mean, some of them rabbis from up there,
Okay.
Oklahoma City, and they came down to help us because we was in trouble, and they said they intend to come down and help us, and they wanted to hear how it go, and they wanted to sit there and see how they was treating us, and so, and Bill Connor told them to go in and get them damn niggas out of there.
Get
Monk
the
them
get the
white
rab
folk.
get the rabbis.
Get them, yeah. He took all our rabbis out the church. Come in there with the Gatling guns on and the guns hanging on their shoulders. And he had to come in, get up, and let's go. And they followed on. They went on with them.
Well, what then did the
And then the man told him, say, all right. Said, Will done Connor done come in here and got our people what come to help us and visit us. They had disturbed our meeting. We going, the whole church going down to City Hall. That's where we're going to preach at today. We're going to have meetings down there with our company what come with us, you know.
So you had, now these people that they took out were white, right?
Yeah, all of them was white.
So then the entire church,
Bill Connor got him a crowd, and he got up in his paddy wagon and said, hey, y'all people, go back home. He wouldn't call us niggas then. He said, all y'all people go on back home, back to your church. Man, so you didn't let us have no peace in our church, so we going down to City Hall and do just what we were doing at the church.
so did you go along with them?
Right along there with him. And then Bill Connor putting the water on us as we go, wetting us up. And we went on down. Anyway, so we went till the water stopped. We was going anyway. We was stepping over the water. Everybody was going, nobody praying and singing that song. God ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. So we went on, and one day was singing, and I want to say, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Said, we going on. Bill Connor ain't gonna turn us around. So they hold us out there, putting the water on us, following us all around, following the water on, putting the water on. So the pipe stopped running. It wouldn't run. All the water ran out for some way. So he said, hey, what's the matter with y'all? Why don't you put that water on them? I said, put the water on them. One man told him, said, I tell you where I'm going. I'm going back home and eat dinner breakfast with my wife.
This was a fireman?
Yeah, and sitting up in the garden. We were talking about setting that water, and God done stopped the water. You know, he said he was scared to mess with that water. And he said, well, won't no water come out of the Bull Corner. Won't no water come down.
So the water just stopped.
So we stepped on over the line and went on, kept it going. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around. And we didn't let nobody turn us around till we got to City Hall. And we preached, prayed, shout, sang, everything we was gonna do at the church. We did it down there. That's where we had it at.
You remember when the 16th Street Church was bombed and those little girls were killed? Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I wasn't there at the time. I just heard. I didn't know. I know about them, but I wasn't there because they was at Sunday school, and I didn't go to Sunday school. They got them at Sunday school.
You went to another church.
Yeah, I went to Cairo Baptist Church.
Right.
And I wasn't there. But I was at the funeral.
Oh, you were at the funeral?
At the funeral at 6 Good Game.
At 6th Avenue?
To call it that time.
6th Avenue Baptist?
6th Avenue Baptist Church.
And what was that like? What do you remember about that day?
That funeral?
At the funeral, yes.
Oh, we had a gang of rabbis there. We had the whole back church with rabbis in it that day. Whole back church was for the rabbis. When they brought the bodies in, they just rolled in one by one, and one roll them one in together.
So the church
That's what I want to see.
The church was packed.
Packed to a capacity. And I was right there, looking down on them.
You also,
when they rolled them in, right by me.
You also participated in the Selma to Montgomery March.
Yeah, we went down there and we got some buses that go to school because it was too far to walk. We wouldn't try walking like they did down in Camden. Selma, where they got beat up at Miss Russo or whatever, they killed her down there.
Russo.
She got killed down there trying to help them,
Right.
But we got buses and went down to the schoolhouse yard. When we got to the schoolhouse yard.
You mean the Capitol, right? The Capitol.
No, the schoolhouse yard in the buses.
Oh, okay.
We put the buses up there. We had nowhere to park them. So we parked down there and got out the bus and walked from there on up to George Washington. What's his name? George Wallace. We went on up to his Capitol. He was standing there when we got there. He said, you can't come in here. Well, we couldn't come in there, but we sit right down out there and spread us some pills and everything down there and took the place. They had them closed, the doors of the stores, every store was closed, and the people back there looking out the windows, what is them people doing? And while we was walking, I got so tired, I wanted to give up. One rabbi was walking right by me and said, lady, you trying to give up, you can't give up now, because we down here to help y'all, you better go now. You gotta hold up. And I said, give me your coat. He took and I had a lunch, my coat to lay down on. And he took that and said, I'll carry it for you. Said, now you can hold up and walk, can't you? I said, yeah. I said, I see you giving down. I said, don't give, you can't give down now. I said, okay. So we walked till we got to the Capitol. And we sit down.
Right.
And when we got tired of sitting down, we got up and went over there didn't want to sell us no drinks and ice cream and things like that. But one store that did sell it.
What about, you also participated when Dr. King was assassinated. You went to his funeral in Atlanta.
No, I had a heart attack down there. I got sick.
At the funeral?
At the funeral, trying to get to the funeral. I was in the churchyard, but the crowd was so big till I couldn't get no further in the yard. And I stood right there and got so tired till I wanted to fall dead, just standing out there. So I felt myself getting sick, and I went over there and I see a crowd sitting on the steps over there, and at somebody's house, and I went on over there and sat down on that step and blacked out right there. That's where I blacked out. And they had nurses watching you, and nurses coming to you, little funny talking folks. What can I do for you? Who you come with? And I told them who I come with, Dave Young and Bernice Young. He went and she said, I want Bernice Young and Dave Young. Is a Dave Young and a Bernice Young out there? Say, your mother up here is sick. Said, needs some care. Come by, and they come see about me. When Dave got there, she said, go and get her a drink of water, or pop, water, right quick. Get it quick as you can get it. So go right there. I think it's a machine thing over there. And he went over there and got me a drink and some water. So I had to drink the water first. And then I drank the drink. And I got up there from there and went on down to Morehouse after that. I done had that spell and got over that spell and went on down in Morehouse yard then.
So you didn't go to the hospital? You didn't go to the hospital?
No, I didn't go to no hospital. That nurse had doctored on me out there. That cold water and that drink got me back, normal. So after that, we got they let us have the streetcars in the ride. Then the cars buses and things was going down from that church to Morehouse. We got in that buses and went on down to that Morehouse.
Morehouse, you mean?
Morehouse. And got out and got on that yard. And we didn't get no further in the yard there. But we could hear everything they were saying because they had them loud speakers. And everything, we could hear everything you were saying.
What was Birmingham like before the movement?
Oh, my goodness. I was, before the movement, I was having a time then. Having a over here and over there time.
What do you remember most about how you related to whites and how whites related to you? Were they in riding the buses? Did you ever go downtown to shop?
Oh yes, I used to go downtown all the time, and so they had a streetcar that was double length. The one end up here belongs to the white people, and that end back there belongs to the Negroes, and so we had to get back there. If we were sitting in this part when the white folks get on, we had to get up and stand up. There wasn't no room back there. You just stand up until you find your seat. But if a white person come in, then you trying to gonna sit there, you had to get up, because the man or get out of his seat who driving the car and come back there and ask you up. Would you please let so and so have this seat? Yeah, white folks seat. Say, oh wait, so we had to get up then and let them have the seat.
Were there ever any times that...
But I got so I wouldn't get up.
That you would refuse to get up?
I refused to get up.
Then what would happen?
Then nothing happened, but that bus rolled on that main, stayed on that bus. See, the drivers wouldn't try to make you do nothing, but the man what driving the bus would come and ask you up. Well, you wouldn't pay them. The drivers don't think they're riding just like you. But if he come back there and tell you, I'll take the board and it's sitting here and you move it back, they allow for you to move back. So if he didn't come back, we could ride on.
I see.
But we didn't. They wouldn't move for just the people would come on themselves. But he come back there and move his seat the back. You had to get that.
Right. You wouldn't refuse when he came back, when the driver came back.
I wouldn't
you wouldn't
refuse. Not, yeah. We wouldn't refuse. We get on up and get in the back and stand up until we get. Martin Luther King say, "You're a fool, say you're a why. Don't you know you paid your money just like they paid theirs?" Say, don't get up,
And
sit right there and let them know that you paid the same thing they paid.
That is what they would talk about during the meetings.
Yeah,
To kind
that's what it was fighting about and praying about.
So, do you think that the movement was successful in change?
The movement was real successful because all the things they didn't allow. Bill Connor didn't allow them to drink water where Negroes drink water at. Well, you had to move one can over there was white water, and over this was colored water, and Shuttleworth and Martin Luther King moved it. And told them, say, ain't no white water, no such thing as no white water and black water.
So
Said just drink water. Whenever you get the water, just drink you some water and don't pay that no attention, just drink you some. Well, we was paying that money in the movement to pay for that being done.
to get it changed.
Them words had come through the big men
Well,
at the Supreme Court.
How did you feel though before that movement started, and you'd have to go down and you'd have to drink out of the colored fountains, or you couldn't sit at the lunch counters to eat?
We thought nothing I did. I didn't think nothing of it. You know, I didn't know no better.
Just thought that was the way it
They think
should
that
be.
this is the way of doing, and that's the way of doing it, and that's to keep from getting in an argument or something. You go on and do, like the rules said do. But
So-
after we paid a lot of money to the Supreme Court, they said you don't have to do like that. When they told me you don't have to do like that, well, you had to pay so much for them to make it legal, and they did.
So the Supreme Court, obviously what you're doing, you're talking about the Supreme Court and Brown versus Board of Education, who changes the school system, for instance, who talks about separate but equal
Yeah.
was illegal.
I didn't like colored children go to school. Bill Connor and George Washington Wallace didn't like that, didn't allow that at all. No black and white going to school together. George Wallace said it wasn't going to happen. No blacks wasn't going to no school with no white folks.
Segregation now, segregation forever.
The segregation now, segregation is forever. And he stood in the schoolhouse door and ate it out and said, "You ain't coming by here." They had some big border back when they're trying to go to Tuscaloosa.
University of Alabama.
And but George Wallace got in that door, but a man probably about this tall than him. He said, "Would you step aside?" Oh yeah, just wait a minute till I do this. And he gonna step aside. He stepped aside too.
So you
I
think that
say he and a nigga come by here, he gonna go on my body, dead body. But when that man come by there, he didn't say, "Look," I looked up and got something and stepped aside.
yeah, because his name was Kassenbach, and he represented the federal
that's
government.
what his name, Kassenbach. And he was so big and tall. He said he looking ugly and thing. He said, "Would you please step aside?" He was like, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, sir.
So do you think that Wallace was just a show?
That's a show. They're trying to bluff somebody, come make somebody do like they was doing, but he didn't fool around with that man. He didn't mess with that man. That man just told him to step aside. And that man went on to school, right there, stepped on out that door where he was going.
Well, you've obviously had a wide experience, a varied experience in the civil rights movement. At that time, you were in your 60s during the '63 demonstrations, and now you're in your 90s. How does it feel to have lived through all of that and to see the changes that have taken place in Birmingham?
Oh, I feel good, and being the age that I am, and I just wonder how did I come through? And how did I get through? All that stuff, how did I come through? I said, you know, the people, what these people going through now, I done been through it. I done come through what they going through. I said, well, I'm thank God I'm here. All I can say now, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
And we used to have a woman at the movement who would say, thank God for Jesus. And they had to come and get her, and it took 6 men to take her out. I said, and she shouted so much, child, I tell you. I spoke one day, I seen her, I was outside, I had never gotten to church. She was on her way in, and I was on my way in, and she said, I said, oh God, that girl old shouting lady. Oh, what did I say that for? She said, you better wish you was a shouting lady. I said, oh, I wasn't talking about you.
Was she older than you?
Oh, no, she wasn't older than me. She's younger than me.
Oh.
But she's old, though she wasn't old as me.
Right.
But she's about something like the age of my daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother-in-law.
Were you older than most of the people that were there?
I was so many people were there, I couldn't tell who all was there, but I was some in the older ones.
Were there other people from your community involved in the movement? Were there other people in your community that were involved in the movement?
Everyone just about you could find, unless he was a drinker. He loved to run around and drink and didn't care nothing about nothing but just drink and have a time. And they didn't pay the movement no attention.
So your church was involved?
Well, all the church was involved. All the deacons and members of the church was involved. And they could have the meeting at their church anytime.
Right. If I were to ask you about different individuals, you remember Reverend John Porter?
Oh yeah,
What do you remember
Reverend Porter
about him?
was really nice, and he really loved the movement because he'd be there himself. But his church didn't want him. Them people at their church. See, they done got Shuttleworth had done got his church bummed up, and then come over there and get their church bummed up. Said he didn't want them there. They stay away from their church. And Reverend Porter said, "Yeah, they coming all right. They going."
So he would allow the movement to come to 6th Avenue.
Yeah, he had the good when they got killed. They had their funeral there. But that stopped all of that. Talking about they wasn't coming there because Reverend Porter was all for it and was all with them at every meeting. He said, "My people don't even want me over here, but I'm over here."
What about the Woods brothers?
And the Woods brothers, well, they was acted in it. The daddy, the brother, the two brothers, and the daddy. It was a two brother, a Cabin Wood, Abraham Wood, and I don't know what the daddy was named. But all of them was preachers. Well,
Who was the person that did a lot of the songs? Carlton Reese. Do you remember Carlton Reese?
oh yeah, Carson Reese. See, he was the piano man. He played the music for us. And he would, do all the singing. And he would just sing whatever he wanted to sing. He could just make him up a song and sing it. Something about Barton Wood Corner, and they go right along with him. And he could sing it too.
Well, how did you, just in closing, did you enjoy the movement, or were you afraid? How was the
I
movement?
enjoyed it so much that I wouldn't be afraid. I would be afraid if them white folks come in with all them machines and all them lights and things in your face and taking pictures and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have something not to be scared of that. I was so enthused over Martin Luther King, to what they was doing, till I didn't pay them no attention. But they catching every word they said and everything. And Martin Luther didn't pay him no attention because he told him, "I want my freedom and I want it now."
And that became sort of a slogan for the movement.
And the last time and when they getting on the end after run out the book Martin Luther King so much, and kept up with him, tried to keep up with him, tried to get things to kill him long time ago. And he said, are we going, something else about over the mountain. Well, I might not get there with you, but I want y'all,
On to the mountain.
over the mountain. Mm-hmm. And say, I might not get there with you, but say,
but we're going.
But I want y'all to keep on going. Mm-hmm. Just keep on going. Say walk. If they don't let you walk, say crawl. Say if you're going to crawl, say slide on in there. just so you keep going.
How did you feel when Martin Luther King was assassinated? How did you feel when Martin Luther King was assassinated, when he was killed?
Oh, I was standing at the ironing board ironing my clothes. Mm-hmm. And my husband said, that must have been your man, you carrying on something. I said, I didn't know nothing about no man, I just love him because he was teaching us so much, Mm-hmm. And I said, oh God, no, that couldn't be Martin Luther King. She said, what are you hollering so you didn't know? I said, no, that's the main man. They done killed the poor man. Oh God, I had a fit. I couldn't iron no more. I was ironing. Mm-hmm. I didn't iron. I threw them things away. Mm. I couldn't iron no more. I just sick. I said, well, Jesus, what we gonna do now? But I know Shuttleworth and Reverend Gardner and all of them was back there. We were going to keep on going, just like he said. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we did.
Well, I want to thank you for taking your time out and coming and sitting with us. Your experience has been one that is just really amazing, mm-hmm. and I appreciate it. We want to again say welcome back home to Birmingham.
Thank you.
And we want you to come back again.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And there was day and there was night.